The Bermuda Triangle mystery finally solved. You've certainly heard about the Bermuda Triangle and the mystery surrounding its existence. In today's video, you will learn all about the theories around the Bermuda Triangle and how one scientist finally solved the mystery of this puzzling topic. Welcome to Curiosity TV, the place where you'll find answers to so many of your questions, Curiosity Addicts. We hope you like this new video we've created especially for you. We know how it feels to need your curiosity satisfied, so that's exactly why we're here. So buckle up and try not to get lost as we explain everything there is to learn about the Bermuda Triangle. We can't wait till you find out the answer to this question that has been lingering for so long. What exactly happens in the Bermuda Triangle where things cease to exist? Now listen to this haunting dialogue. "I don't know where we are," one of the pilots shouted over the radio. "We must have gotten lost after that last turn. Everything looks strange, even the ocean," said one pilot. And that was it, the last thing recorded in the communication by Flight 19. This is the flight where it all started. It was one of 5 planes that set off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida for a routine 2-hour training mission over the Atlantic in 1945. A routine mission that the pilots had no idea would later cause one of the world's greatest mysteries ever, the Bermuda Triangle. What seemed to be a smooth trip at first, hovering around and dropping practice bombs without any troubles, suddenly turned into a plane that lost its way when the leading pilot swore that his Avenger's compass was malfunctioning. If you think that was intense, wait until you hear about that one demystifying solution that explains it all. When 5 planes suddenly disappear into thin air, it's normal for questions to be raised. Because how is it possible for such large objects to disappear without any trace? The answer people gave to that question led to the birth of the so-called Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes get lost. Or so they thought. We will find out shortly. Ever since the day the 5 planes and 14 crew members vanished, the Bermuda Triangle has been mystified as a mysterious patch of ocean that swallows sailors and pilots after making them lose contact with the outside world. And even though the Bermuda Triangle isn't presumed as an actual geographic location or even a threat, that didn't stop people from coming up with legends and theories around it in an attempt to explain what really happened that day. Today, we will take you through every theory around it until we reach the final conclusion that one scientist believes actually explains what happened to Flight 19. But before getting into all the interesting theories about the Bermuda Triangle, let's really understand what exactly is this triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is believed to be an area bounded by points in Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, where ships and planes are said to mysteriously vanish into thin air or deep water. Some call it the Devil's Triangle, while others refer to it as Limbo of the Lost or the Hoodoo Sea. But the Bermuda Triangle remains the most common name of all. Now, let's dive into some pretty interesting theories that tried to explain the phenomenon of the sudden disappearance of those 5 planes. Some writers have followed the lead of writer Charles Berlitz, who had some interesting beliefs about Atlantis, a mythical city at the bottom of the sea. The theory here, attempting to explain what happens in the Bermuda Triangle, is that this city uses its reputed crystal energies to sink ships and planes. Charles Berlitz is believed to be the man who started it all. Berlitz, who is known for his books on paranormal phenomena, is the father of the legend. His book, titled The Bermuda Triangle, was the very first to ever suggest that something bizarre was going on in this area. The best-selling book, published in 1974, was the book that popularized the notion of the Bermuda Triangle. 20 million copies were sold in 30 languages. His book was the first of its kind. It is believed that the majority of writers took Berlitz's book as a reference and that they basically reiterated what he had said without really doing any fact-checking. Later, paranormal writers started to come up with their own theories. They went as far as attributing the mystery of the triangle to aliens, sea monsters, reversed gravity fields, and time warps. Basically, every unbelievable thing you could imagine, they believed in it. On the other hand, others took it from a more scientific point of view, where they spoke of magnetic anomalies, waterspouts, or huge eruptions of methane gas from the ocean's ground. It all sounds very fairy tale-ish, right? Well, we're just getting started. Others believe that the reason behind the constant disappearances is an extremely rare yet perfectly normal geological or hydrological occurrence. It is that these ships and planes may have been destroyed by flammable methane gas known to exist in large quantities under the sea. According to the theory, this flammable gas may be triggered by lightning or an electrical spark, which then ignites a large bubble of methane, resulting in the sinking of ships or planes without any trace. However, this theory is being met with a few logical problems, one of them being that even though methane naturally exists around the world, such an incident has never been reported before. If you thought these two theories were shocking, wait until you hear the next ones. Others suggest that the cause of the disappearances is some rogue tidal waves, or maybe some mysterious geomagnetic anomaly that creates navigational problems that confuses pilots. And then there were some who suggested that the actual reason behind the disappearances were aliens. It seems like whenever there are mysterious disappearances, aliens are always the scapegoat and fingers are naturally pointed towards them. People actually have this theory that the planes came across an alien ship and were abducted by them. All these theories bring us to our main question. What are the conclusions that scientists have finally drawn? Does the triangle really exist? Is it time for us to start believing in aliens and find a way to communicate with them? For those of you curiosity addicts who deep down wish to believe in the impossible, scientist Karl Kruszenicki's explanation will burst your bubble. He insists that the reason why several planes and ships vanish into thin air between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico has nothing to do with neither underwater crystals from the lost city of Atlantis nor aliens. With a fellowship at Sydney University for communicating science, Kruszenicki is a scientist who dared to defy 70 years worth of speculations and has announced the solving of the Bermuda Triangle. He says that the only mystery surrounding the Bermuda Triangle is that there was no mystery to begin with. If this is his claim, then how does he explain the mysteries behind the plane's disappearance? The Australian scientist has actually based all his claims on scientific facts and has a strong belief that the disappearances are caused by nothing but pure human mistakes, errors, and bad weather. According to Kruszenicki, there are more rational explanations for the disappearance of the Flight 19 back in 1945 that originally started the whole Bermuda Triangle speculation. For starters, the only real pilot with experience on this flight was the leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, who might have played a huge human error in causing the unfortunate incident. Kruszenicki claims that the pilot had a history of getting drunk, and that he actually showed up with a hangover that day. The radio transcripts from before the patrol vanished showed that Flight 19 had really become unaware of its position. Some of the radio transcripts actually proved that some of the junior pilots were asking him to fly to the west, but his reply was, "Why don't we fly to the east?" So, a number of foreign experienced pilots, and the one who is actually experienced is wasted. Of course that equals a disaster. The researcher further refutes the claim that the planes completely vanished without a trace. According to his explanation, the plane actually exploded, and there were even witnesses who saw the explosion happen. The mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle has been perceived for decades as an unsolved mystery. But let's be real, there's no logical reason behind time portals, Atlantis, aliens, or tidal waves. The mystery is actually way simpler to be solved, but who minds a good old legend or a sensational story? Another author, Larry Cush, notes in his definitive book, The Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved, that only a few writers have actually done real investigations and research on the topic, and that they mostly repeated theories of earlier writers who did the same. Even though the explanation may be simpler than we thought, we can't deny the fact that the Bermuda Triangle has indeed fascinated so many people and had us believe in some bizarre explanations and in a whole other view of the sea. And that brings us to a quick recap. In today's video, you have learned all about Flight 19 and its sudden disappearance during its trip from Fort Lauderdale, Florida for a 2-hour training mission over the Atlantic. The complete vanishing of the planes with no traces to be found is what opened up speculations around the area and started all the theories surrounding the existence of the Bermuda Triangle. You've also learned all about the different theories about the Bermuda Triangle, which, even though quite unbelievable, with aliens and mythical crystals carrying crazy powers, still got a lot of people pretty convinced with them. One scientist refuted all the theories and claimed that the only mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle is that there was no mystery at all. Karl Kruszenicki's claims were backed by scientific and historical evidence, starting with the bad weather that day to the human factor that may have caused a huge error leading to this disaster. So really, what started this entire speculation around the Bermuda Triangle might have actually been merely a result of a wasted pilot along with bad weather conditions. Thank you, Curiosity Addicts, for tuning in and watching our video. If you found it interesting, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Curiosity TV, and to turn on the notification bell for more mind-blowing topics that are yet to come your way. Leave a comment and share with us what you believe really happens in the Bermuda Triangle. Tell us which theory from the ones we talked about you believe the most. Stay safe, and until next time and next ride, Curiosity Addicts.